There are lots of things all around us, exciting things that surround us.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Things that go up, things that go down, things that go pop, things that go round, with special cameras to show you inside. It's going to be a big surprise.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Do you know?
Let's find out!
Hello, I'm Maddie, and today I'm having a look at some animals that we can keep as pets. What animals do you like? What about a rabbit? They have very soft fur. Or a cockatiel. They squawk and cheep, don't you? You can even keep frogs as pets. Do you know what these are? That's right, they're goldfish. They're a lovely orange colour with a shimmer of gold, aren't they? To keep fish at home, you need to have a fish tank. But do you know how a fish tank helps to keep fish healthy? How does a fish tank work? Let's find out.
How does it work?
Fish tank.
To find out how a fish tank works, I've come here to an aquatic centre where they have lots of different types of fish which you could keep as pets.
There are big fish and small fish. Look, can you see those really tiny ones? This one is swimming along slowly.
I've got my special waterproof camera with me so we can see what some of these fish look like when they're swimming underwater. But remember, this is a special waterproof camera, so you mustn't try this with your camera at home. OK, ready?
This is a big fish tank they have at the aquatic centre to keep lots of fish in before they are sold. Can you see them swimming about?
I love watching the way their mouths move. Can you see that? They go pop, pop, pop.
But if we want to keep fish at home, we need a much smaller tank. Shall we see if we can find one?
At the bottom of a fish tank, you might put a layer of little stones called gravel, or perhaps some water plants. But do you know what this is? This black plastic box. It's called a filter, and it helps to keep the water inside the fish tank clean. But do you know how a filter works? I think we need to take a closer look.
When we keep fish in a fish tank, we feed them fish food. This gives them energy to grow and swim around. When the fish have eaten and used the food as energy, they poo out the waste into the water. Fish also let out waste through their gills. This is how a fish goes for a wee. Fish wee has a chemical inside called ammonia that can be harmful to fish if it's left in the tank for too long. The filter removes the poo and ammonia from the water. Inside is a pump and a sponge filter. When the pump is switched on, it sucks in the water from the tank. The filter has lots and lots of tiny organisms inside called bacteria. As the water is pushed through the sponge filter, the bacteria turn the ammonia into a chemical called nitrate, which is less harmful to fish. And any bits of poo get caught in the sponge filter. So the fish have nice, clean, filtered water to swim around in.
That is so clever, isn't it? I've got a special underwater microphone with me. It's called a hydrophone, and the hydrophone will let us hear what it sounds like underwater. But remember, this is a special microphone, so you mustn't try this at home. Let's give it a go. Wow, can you hear that? If I take the hydrophone out, we can't hear anything. If I put it back in, I can. That's the sound of the filter working. Actually, if I move the filter up a little bit, oh, can you see it making bubbles on the surface of the water? Because because waste builds up in the filter every couple of weeks, it needs to be cleaned out. And I happen to know one that needs cleaning today. I've been given special permission to clean this one. And the first thing we have to do is switch the filter off. Now I'm going to carefully lift it out of the water so that we don't disturb our little fish friend. Now, if I take the top of the filter off and have a look inside, we can see this part here. It looks a bit like a propeller, doesn't it? And that's what spins round and round and round to suck the water into the filter. Now, if we take a look at the other end, we have this spongy part. This is the sponge that traps all the bits of dirt and waste. And to clean this, I'm going to rinse it in some water from the fish tank. Let's give that a good rinse. Bit of a squeeze. Oh, look at all of those bits of dirt coming off. That's the poo and the plant and bits of old fish food. There we go. The sponge is much cleaner, but look how dirty the water is. But now we can see all of the tiny holes in the sponge. And that's where the helpful bacteria live that turn the ammonia into nitrate. All that's left to do is pop this back into the filter. And now I put this back into the fish tank. And there it goes.
Ready to keep the water clean for the fish.
Just need to wash my hands. I loved seeing how fish tanks work. What was your favourite part?
Do you remember what the part of the filter is called that traps the fish poo? That's right, it's called the sponge. Did you hear the sound the filter made while it pumped the water? And did you see all the fish swimming around on my special underwater camera?
I loved seeing all the bubbles in the water at the aquarium, did you? Where else do we see bubbles? Well, we use them when we're cleaning the dishes, washing our hands, and I like to have bubbles in the bath. Baths need to be strong so they can hold our weight and the weight of all the water. Also, they need to be watertight, which means they can hold all of the water in. They also need to be smooth to sit in and shiny so you can clean them easily. But do you know how baths are made? Let's find out.
How is it made?
Bath.
There are lots of different types of baths. Baths with straight edges. Baths with curved edges. And some even have doors.
But how are baths made?
Baths are made here, in a bath factory. Baths can be made from different materials, but the one we're making today is made from a type of strong plastic called acrylic. Here we are. This is a flat sheet of acrylic, and it's just enough to make one bath. Look, it's long enough for one person. But how do we make this flat sheet of acrylic curved like a bath? The acrylic goes into the oven, which is set at 180 degrees. That's about the same temperature that you might bake a cake in your oven at home. The heat from the oven makes the acrylic soft and bendy, so it can be moulded into a new shape.
And after 20 minutes, the acrylic is ready to come out.
Whoa, look at that! The acrylic's gone all floppy. It's all wibbly-wobbly, isn't it?
The wobbly acrylic is put onto a machine called bath tool and is clamped into place, ready to be shaped.
Air from tiny holes in the bath tool is blowing the wobbly acrylic up like a balloon to make the material stretchy. And now the air is sucking that wobbly acrylic into the bath tool. Wow! Look! Now it looks like the shape of a bath.
The acrylic is then left to cool for about 5 minutes until it becomes a hard shell.
Now it looks more like a bath, doesn't it? It's very light, but also it's too thin. We need it to be much stronger than this.
To see the next stage, I need to wear a protective suit because the acrylic shell is going to be sprayed with a material called fiberglass.
Fiberglass isn't like the glass you'd find in your windows at home. It's actually a type of plastic.
But it has tiny strands of glass inside.
The fiberglass starts curled up in these big reels called bobbins, and then it comes all the way over here to this. It's called a chop roving gun, and this is Vinny. It's his job to use it. The chop roving gun has a small spinning wheel with some blades on it that turn round and round, and that chops the fiberglass into short little pieces. Can you see?
And I'm putting a special camera on top of the chop roving gun so we can see how it works close up.
Take it away, Vinny.
Wow, look how fast it sprays.
The chop roving gun is blasting those little pieces of fiberglass onto the bath, along with a sticky liquid called resin.
Can you see the mixture sticking to the bath?
When that dries, it will make a strong, hard shell. But at the moment, the bath looks furry.
Next, a wooden baseboard is added to the bottom of the bath to give it even more strength. Then the bath is loaded onto a carrier and put through a heated tunnel to dry.
It's completely dry, and now the shell feels much stronger and harder. The bath is lifted up by this long suction hose, and it's taken over to another machine called a CNC machine.
Inside the CNC machine, any rough edges are trimmed by a spinning blade. And then a filing tool is used to make them nice and smooth.
Now, it really does look like a bath, doesn't it? But there is something missing. Do you know what it is? This bath needs two holes. One here for the plug hole, that's where the water drains away, and one here called the overflow. So if there's too much water in the bath, it can drain out.
Can you hear the sound of the drill making the plug hole?
Made it through.
The bath is then packed in cardboard and plastic covers to protect it.
And there we have a finished bath, all wrapped up, ready to be sent to the shops. What did you like most about seeing how baths are made?
Can you remember the name of the material that the bath is made from? That's right, it's called acrylic. Did you hear the sound of the drill as it made the plug hole? And did you see how the bath tool sucked in the wobbly acrylic to give the bath the correct shape? So the next time you see a fish swimming about in a fish tank, you'll know how the filter works. And when it's time for a bath, you'll know how it's made. I'll see you next time.
There are lots of things all around us, exciting things.